nights the past 2 weeks. I have to go in at 8 now, but I've at least been able to be a part of it, so I'm thankful for that. A little change in the schedule. So how many know God's in everything, the little things, the little details, the big details? And so I believe God had his hand on that, and I'm hoping that that works out moving forward as well. But talking about some healing this morning, I didn't realize what Pastor Josh was going to be singing. He's believing some healing for Pastor Christina. How many believe for some healing for Bishop Owens? Amen. I believe it's a miracle that he's even still here at this point. But there's somebody I want to talk about. And, you know, I like to know that I am hearing from God, or that this is going to be what is supposed to be said, or what needs to be said, or that I'm going to say it how I need to say it. And that's why I love having our pastors here. And I know that they would correct me probably immediately if I don't. I know Bishop would have slapped, if Bishop does slap every once in a while if you need it. But I want to know that I'm saying what not only the word says, but what God has given to me, that it lines up with the word. And I was looking for a sign, and my brother come walking in this morning, and I've never seen him in this shirt in my life. He had ordered it. It came in. He ordered it in July. I was potentially going to preach a week or two ago. He didn't wear it. He comes in wearing this Forrest Frank shirt. And my first thing I want to do is tell you about Forrest Frank. And I look at him. I'm like, well, all right, God, I guess this is what we're supposed to do. So if you've not heard of Forrest Frank, he is what I guess would consider a very new school sounding Christian artist, but he is absolutely just blown up the past 2 years in the Christian music scene. And he has done so many things right, done so many things good. He has went on tour. He has just released music after music. Like, it's just been a continual thing. And if you have followed him here the past few months, he had fallen off a skateboard at his house and landed on concrete and broke his back in multiple places, like fractured it. And we're going to watch a video here in just a minute of him talking about that. But it's crazy the way the whole situation worked out, because nobody was recording it. He was just at his house, and he had a security camera, and he had just come into frame moments before he fell. Now, I'm not going to show the fall. If you want to go look it up, please go look it up. But what I'm going to show you here this morning is him talking about it, him showing the x-rays of the fractures of his back. So go ahead and check this out here.
Okay, I finally got it. I'm in this program.
No idea.
I am not a radiologist.
Did I screw it up? I was messing with things this morning. You might have to go to that audio routing page and select 1 and 2. We're going to troubleshoot this in real time here for you. We had an update on ProPresenter. Don't update anything. Stuff doesn't work then.
Okay, I finally got it. I'm in this program. I am not a radiologist. If you are, or you know somebody, comment them. I want to know your diagnosis of this. Here's my back. I'm just guessing right here. So look at these two right here. They're smooth, right? Nice and smooth. You go to L3, and it appears that that is a pretty significant crack or fracture. So I'm gonna go back and forth a little bit. Make sure y'all can see that. You can pause it if you need to. Let me go to this other view. Here's 3. Boom. Big. Or am I just making that up? That looks clean, that looks fractured. I think that's that right there, right? They're complete. Look at that. Boom. Did we see a miracle? Was it just insane rapid recovery? Peace. God bless you guys.
How many believe miracles still happen? There's somebody in the comments that says, I sent this video to my dad, who has been a neurosurgeon for 30 years, with no other context but to just look at the scans and read what's happened. He says, your back was broke in multiple fractures, and he said there's a minimum time to heal of 3 months. So yeah, God was at work in this. So obviously that happened. He had struggled. There's videos of him in tears, in pain at his house. And then this was 21 days after he broke his back. 21 days. Look at what he was up to.
So I broke my back, right? But something happened in the midst of it when God turned some lemons into lemonade. Well, let's just play the song, okay? No, I was fast, that desert I was in was deep, so dry, but now I'm out here feeling free, so fly, I'm chilling in the shade. Life gave me some lemons, but my Jesus, he be making lemonade.
So he made some lemonade out of the lemons life had given him. Is that not incredible? 21 days later, after falling off his skateboard, breaking his back at his house, he's singing the song he wrote on his back, in his sickness, in his bed, and he's playing it for 15,000 people at the Iowa State Fair. How many know that's our God? And so, excuse me when we believe in for God's healing on anything that we're going through, whether it be Pastor Christina, any of you that are going through sickness, Sister Williams being back in the hospital, Bishop Owens. How many know we can believe for it? And I believe God can do it. And I'm so thankful, not that Forrest broke his back, but I'm so thankful that he has the evidence. He's seen the doctors. He's got the proof. How many know sometimes people, you can't show them something. You have to have the proof to back it up. You've got to have the things in place and be like, look, this is what it was. This is what it is now. Look at what God's done. How many thankful for God still healing, still moving, still working? Amen. So I have a unique title, a unique thought this morning. But before we get into that, I want to laugh a little bit. Is that all right? We'll talk, I guess, a little bit about AI before we get into this. How many know what AI is? Artificial intelligence. It can be called machine learning. If you're Apple, it's Apple Intelligence because they think they own the world and they just rebrand whatever to their brand. But it is just things, essentially, if you want to dumb it down, boil it down, you can put prompts into things and they can create what you said. It's kind of scary because how many know we don't really create anything? God created things. So there's some, disdain with it and how it works and what it is. But I thought I might just show you a little bit of it. And I've been worried about this because I'm not sure how this is going to go over. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. It's kind of funny. But how many have ever seen some AI Bigfoot stuff? Is there anybody out there? We got a few of you. Well, you're going to be introduced to Mr. Bigfoot. And this is his first experience with church. And we're just going to let him tell you about how it was.
Day 5, first Sunday service. Y'all, I wept. God's presence, real as thunder.
These people welcomed me like family. No fear, just love. That's Christ.
Never clapped in public before, but today, I praised him with both hands.
He preached Matthew 5. Blessed are the meek. That hit me deep.
Had church coffee. Still not sure if it's holy, but the hugs were.
Y'all, Sister Linda makes a potato salad that might be anointed.
Little guy said, Jesus made you tall so more people could hear you. Amen, kid. Today taught me, church isn't a building. It's a family I never knew I had.
How many are thankful for your church family? Now we don't got no Bigfoot. I've also heard that how in the world did Bigfoot find Jesus before we found him? And so here he is finding Jesus. So that was his first week going to church, I think, or, somewhere around the beginning. A few weeks later, he was preaching. So check this out.
Imagine you pray to God about the person that you want to become. You say, God, I want to be courageous. And God replies, then I will give you monsters that will terrify you so you can conquer them. You say, God, I want to be patient. And God replies, then I will make you work harder and longer and nothing will come easy to you. You say, God, I want to be wise. And so God says, then I will give you failures that will crush your spirit so you can learn the value of judgment. You say, God, that sounds like a hard life. Can you give me a good life? And God replies, just like we measure the quality of a blacksmith by the strength of his steel, I measure you by what you are at the end, not by the fire and hammer it took to make you. You see, a good life isn't easy. A good life makes you into a good person. And that, my child, comes from a hard life. So the message here is, it's about who we become doing the work more than it is the outcome of the work itself. God's works work on you more than you work on them. So that means all works for God are for profit. Even if the thing that we work on gets destroyed, even if you went bankrupt, even if that relationship failed, the work you did is eternal.
Wow. I'm not sure that all that was biblical, but isn't that something? I think that lined up. That lined up pretty good, didn't it? Bigfoot's out here spitting the word. Now, I've also seen people talking in these comment sections. They said, how crazy would it be that somebody comes to know Jesus by an AI Bigfoot preaching to them? Because it's amazing. I've seen them preaching the word and ministering, and I'm like, wow, this is good. This is real. How many know God can use anything and everything? He spoke through a donkey. I guess he can speak through Bigfoot. But it's an amazing time to be alive, ain't it? It's a little scary, a little crazy, a little unhinged at times, but we're getting through it. We're getting through it together. So if that's AI Bigfoot, if you've never seen them. This morning, I want to bring a message, and I'm just titling it, whatever this thought is adjusting your algorithm. How many have ever heard about an algorithm? Anybody? Nobody? Man, we're going to have to go to class today. I thought about getting TJ up here, because TJ, you use algorithms to solve the Rubik's Cube, right? That's what you call that? There's no algorithm in the world that can get me to solve that Rubik's Cube. I can't process it like TJ can. If you've ever seen TJ or Cameron doing the Rubik's Cube, you guys don't even need to look at it, do you? You guys look at the cube, analyze it, and then you can start to work on it, right? I should have brought one of you guys up here and we could have done it. That is an algorithm. And so an algorithm is a process or set of rules to be followed in calculations or other problem-solving operations. Usually, especially, this is what my definition said, by a computer. So I guess in definition, TJ and Cameron, you were part computer, I guess. The algorithms can take into account your interactions with other users, other things, and interest in things that it believes that you will find engaging. If you are on any kind of social media or any kind of internet, you are basically in their algorithm. I am old enough to remember the MySpace, the original Facebook days, when there was no ads, no sponsored post. It was just pure people posting stuff of what they're doing. I've had a Diet Coke and I'm going out on the town. What are you doing? Kind of things like, what's up with you guys? Now it's basically anything but that. And that's because people had to profit off things. The internet doesn't run for free. How many knew that? The internet's not free to run. I've been told, or I've seen or remember that they said if you didn't want ads, like you would have to pay a certain amount. And it was like not a very substantial amount if everybody paid for it. We would have no ads, no need to track us and see where we've been. But it was like $5, $10, $15. And if there was an option, I think I'd pay that so I didn't have to see all the stinking ads everywhere. But all these corporations, whether it was Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, now TikTok, has been the most famous for their algorithm and how it gives you content. But what it is, it's based on your interactions. It's based on you liking and commenting, sharing things, whether you are posting stuff. And if you are trying to get in the algorithm and get favor with posting and stuff, you got to be consistent. People that are uploading can make money off of this. There's people living great lives that all they do is post videos, and they post 1 to 3 times a day, and they have to stay consistent with it because then the algorithm sees that, hey, they are giving us content. Let's feed it to people, and let's give it to people, and let's see how they interact. So there's 2 sides to this equation. There's the people that are posting and creating it, but then there's also the people that are reacting to it and engaging in that content. So there's both sides to this. And how many have ever searched for something? Or maybe I know I've heard many people talk over the years about it, but how many have ever said something close to your phone or searched something, and then you go to Facebook, you go to an app, and then you're scrolling, and 2 scrolls down, there's an ad for it? How many have ever seen that? I've honestly I have had such a great example of this the past month, and it is wild. The day of the back to school bash, my foot was in excruciating pain. I thought I broke a bone in my foot. That's how bad it was. And so I was walking around and was here okay. I would limp every once in a while, and Mandy seen me limping. She's like, we've got to go get this checked out. And I'm like, okay. So after the event, I go to prompt care, and I'm like, I've got to get this foot x-rayed. Something is broke. It was so much pain on the outside of my foot. And I've never had foot pain like this. I've never had anything like it. I've had surgery on both knees, but my feet have been good. And I'm stressed. I'm going to be in a boot, all this and that. The guy comes in, doesn't want to do an x-ray, doesn't want to do anything. I'm like, man, you're missing it. He's like, you have plantar fasciitis. And I'm like, what did you just say? I've never heard of those 2 words in my life. And he's like, you need to get some braces. You need to do this. Gives me a steroid to get, if it's inflamed and swelling, to get it to go down. He's like, your tendon was sore, and it's connecting from my heel to the front of my foot. And I may or may not have overdone it a little bit the Friday before. I have moved to more of a desk job. I still get up and walk around quite a bit. But my average steps are 10,000 or less. Sometimes it's like 5 or 6. That Friday before, I took 19,000 steps. So apparently it doesn't help getting older and taking more steps. I don't know if you've ever done anything like that. Think you're as young as you once were, and then you go try to do something, and then you paying for it the next day. So I had never heard of this plantar fasciitis. Never heard of it. I've never seen content online for it. And it's a thing that people have. Like, I start talking to people, and I know 4 or 5 people within minutes of talking to them that have had it. I'm like, where has this been my whole life? I do one search online. I do one search. I go to watch a video. I see a thing or 2. I'm like, okay, move on with my life, go about my day, get on social media, get scrolling. Do you have plantar fasciitis? Do you need this brace? I'm like, yes, Lord, I do. Where's it at? Like, they're like, this is a great brace for plantar fasciitis. You wear it when you sleep so your foot doesn't relax. I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know that was a thing. I keep scrolling. I see somebody, how I recovered from my plantar fasciitis. I'm like, wow, the algorithm was algorithming for me. How many have ever seen something like that? How many know our online lives, they kind of intersect, but they can also be so unique for each and every one of us. Because sometimes you'll find something that you like, you didn't know you liked it, whether it be a new artist, a new creator to follow, and you've never heard of them, but then that's all you're seeing is the stuff they're creating. And so it's so unique, it's weird, it's different. It's something we're still getting used to as a society, as people. And there's honestly some scary stuff that we don't know how it's going to affect us through our lives with growing up with it now. Because now, obviously, we have kids growing up that have these smartphones that some of us adults have known for a little while, but then they know it their whole lives, and we don't know exactly how everything is going to be affected by seeing this stuff, by seeing the content. How many know we can get hold of anybody instantly, wherever we're at, whenever it is? We can call them, we can text them. Now that you can be ignored, there's that. But we don't have to wait. We don't have to write a letter. We don't got to go drive to their house. We don't got to go, as kids, get on the bicycles. They can Snapchat them, text them, whatever it may be, and it'd be there instantly and have a response again within seconds. It's a wild, wild time. And so as I'm thinking about this and resetting your algorithm, adjusting your algorithm, I'm like, well, this really can kind of reference how we are to live, how we are to go about our Christian life as well. And I've got this that I've looked up. It says Jesus is not typically associated with an algorithm in the traditional sense, but however, in a metaphorical sense, we could use it to describe the teachings and principles such as love, compassion, forgiveness, and faith as a framework, the set of rules that the algorithm can run on, and the instructions for a meaningful life. How many know we have this framework, these guidance things that we follow biblically? How many know things will just work out together eventually, right? It's not always good. There's sometimes some crazy stuff happens. But if you work the godly algorithm long enough, how many know things are going to work out in the end? And I know we were talking about healing this morning, but how many know all our healing's already been paid for? We already have it. Whether we see it in this life or the next life, the healing is guaranteed at some point. If we work the algorithm, if we keep up. And so the godly algorithm that we can live by, if we apply the faith-based values, if we apply love, kindness, integrity, wisdom to our daily decisions, the spiritual framework that creates for us can guide our actions, guide our thoughts, our choices, lead to a life that's aligned to a higher purpose, and give us moral clarity. And so how the algorithms on the internet, on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be, they learn us. They learn what we like. And so how do we get our godly algorithm right? It's the word, isn't it? It's prayer. It's spending time with him. And so the word is important because it cultivates a deep relationship with God. It fosters spiritual growth by revealing his character to us. We see his character, we see his decisions, and we know to base our decisions like Christ, right? We are to try to be like him. We're never going to be there. We're never going to be Christ, completely, but we are to head that way. We are to go to that. We know how to overcome challenges. We know how to live by transforming our mind, washing the sinful thoughts away. Is the word, it serves as a primary way to communicate with God. We can get in his word, we can get understanding. We can have the divine guidance, the correction. How many have ever been corrected at church? Had your feet stepped on? Hopefully you don't got plantar fasciitis and it hurts your foot even more, but we've got to learn to obey his teachings. We've got to learn to apply them to our lives. In 2 Timothy 2:15, it says, "Be diligent in your present self, approved to God, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." How many know we have to be able to distinguish the word and the truth so we can filter out all the lies and the things that are out there that Satan sets up for us to fall on? Because, Pastor Steve said it many times, the best lie's got a little truth in it. It seems like it may be right. And it is so dangerous to just believe everything that's out there. There's so much that can be bad. There's so much craziness in the world. And unfortunately, everybody's got a platform nowadays. So whether it's right or not, they can get out there and they can say it and people can watch it. And it's just, they used to say, and I've mentioned this before, you can't believe anything you believe half of what you see and nothing you hear, but you can hardly believe anything you see anywhere. And you always want to test what you hear, what you've seen people speak, whether it be Sunday mornings here, Bible study. You always want to line it up with the Word to make sure it lines up with the Word first. Amen? Because if we get those rules, see, an algorithm has to have a set of rules to follow. And the computer or whatever it is runs it. But the problem is with algorithms, it is just a rules, guidance. It's created by humans, the algorithms, so there can be mistakes and there can be errors in it. And if you've ever had to run a program at a work, at a job, a computer, that's a machine that's based on a computer, you know stuff can break and break down. And the reason is because us humans make it, and we can figure some stuff out, but how many know we're bound to mess up eventually? Nothing we've created is going to last forever. The only thing that's going to last forever is us. So if there's anything we need to get figured out, it's our alignment with God and his algorithm, what he has for our life. And so it's amazing the way the algorithm can change and do things. And so I've watched a lot of content from churches online, and I have been ministered to greatly by what I've seen online. And I'll share it with Mandy. I'll send some to Dad, and we'll just share it around and talk about it. And it's crazy. And the way things can happen so fast now, somebody can get saved and start ministering to people so quick and truly have an impact for the kingdom. I encourage you, if it's something that you want to do, now this may be more towards the younger people and the teens, but I encourage you to post about it online. But that the internet's an amazing place. I've seen so many things blow up over the years that if you feel like you have something that you need to say that God has given you, I encourage you to post it. Share the video, share it with somebody, because it will encourage somebody. And so I've seen so many different things. I have been challenged by so many different things. And it's an amazing time we live in. And we also have to do everything in love, don't we? Because I believe there's some people that have been used that I've seen online by God that if I would have seen them or if I would have known their story, I would have said God can't use them. But we've talked about it this morning already with AI Bigfoot and the donkey, that God can use whatever he wants to. All he's got to have is a willing vessel. And how many know we never have to hold up God's word? We just have to deliver what God has said. You're not looking at the character of the person. You're looking at what they're saying and does it line up with God? And I have found this video, and to be honest with you, I have no idea who these people are. But one of these guys has been recently saved, and this is I don't know if it's hard to say, difficult to say, or it's not godly, it's not the way things were meant to be, but he has recently transitioned from being a woman, which he was born a man, but he is detransitioned, but God is using him. And so I just want you to listen to this quick minute video of this guy interviewing him on a podcast here.
Nobody in their right mind would think that maybe the most explosive evangelist right now on social media would be a man who detransitioned 50 days ago.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think what I'm doing is evangelizing, because I don't know the gospel that well to talk about it,
You know who the first evangelist was in the whole Bible? It was a woman at a well who was cheating on her husband. She had had 5 husbands prior. And Jesus walks up to her. He tells her everything she'd ever done. And he says, go leave your life of sin. And the woman runs back into the village and tells everyone in the village about a man who told her everything she ever did and didn't judge her.
Isn't that incredible? God is willing to use whoever is available. whoever is available. And it's amazing when I get to watching videos like that, it just keeps serving videos. But if I move on to something else, or I start watching something, whether it be like car videos, or I've been looking up some stuff for a garage. I get more ads for garage stuff. I start looking up some car cleaning stuff, and then every ad, it's like QSC too. How many remember the shopping network? They have live people on TikTok selling stuff, and it's QSC shopping network all over again. Whoever that was, I don't know. Was that QSC? That's the speaker brand we have. Was that the same one? I don't know. It doesn't matter. You know, the shopping network stuff. And it's hilarious because we just like to repeat the cycles of what we did and what we used to do. And I remember when, have you seen what was on the shopping network the other day? And, you could phone in and you had to call in and, hey, yeah, I want this. And then you had to tell them, hey, I want this, send it to me. You give them their address. You tell them your credit card information. It was a whole big process. Now I can scroll on TikTok through the shopping network, basically. And if I want it, I can click a button. And then that one button, I can get it sent into my house within a few days. It's like, all right, we've advanced, but really we've not changed it all, have we? And it's wild. So there's, the different sides of the things you can see, and it's amazing that if you want godly content online, you just stay on that godly content, and that's what will be served to you. And so TikTok has been the most famous for these algorithms and the way they serve you things. And this is what it's based on. It's based on engagement metrics. The algorithm assigns points to various metrics of videos and things that you like and watch. And so if you are watching a video, it gives it 1 point if you like the post. How many have ever liked a post on the internet? If you like a post, it gives the metrics, the algorithm sees that, and it gives you 1 point for that. If you engage with it further and you comment on it, you get 2 points. So if you liked it and you comment on it, there's 3 points. It knows you kind of liked it. You repost it, you share it. It's 3 points for that. But then if you like the creator, the one who made the content, then you can go and follow them. So then that can be 4 points there if you follow their page, if you become a fan, if you like them, or whatever you want to call it there. But then we really get into the big points. How many know what the big points are? It's not just liking it. It's just not seeing the content, but it's the amount of watch time you spent on that content. So watch time is 5 points. So you would have to have another 2 or 3 of these added up together to equal the watch time points. So if you watch it for a minute and it's a 3-minute video, that might be good, but you didn't watch it all, right? The highest point system in this algorithm that I have here that I've looked up is completion rate. It'll give you 6 points for if you watch the video from front to back. So then that really hones in on that, really knows that you liked that content and you watched the entire video, whether it be a minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it may be. Attention spans got really short. I don't know if you know that. The videos have got shorter, the attention span shorter. So if you sit there and you watch the completion, if you get it completely watched, it's going to give you the most points. And it's wild because I have done it before where I have seen a video and I've watched the whole thing, and within like 2 scrolls, I see something almost exactly like it. It's literally the algorithm working in my favor, whatever you want to call it, in real time, giving me content that I just watched that they know I liked, and then serves it to me again. It said, you know what? Do it again. And that's why they say the online, the internet, the scrolling, it's like a drug because it'll hit the dopamine receptors. It'll get you fired up. And you know what? Wow, I like that one. Let's scroll again. It knows you watched that one. It knows you liked it. You commented on it. You watched the whole thing. A few scrolls, it's something very similar. It's wild. It's dangerous. It's scary. But how many know if we get our algorithm in place, if we get in the Word, if we get time in prayer, how many know God's gonna see that? And I believe we could assign some points here today for coming to church, for praying, for reading in our Bible, to helping volunteer and minister and tithe paying. I mean, there's different things that I believe we could assign, but it's the same breakdown, I believe, as this algorithm. Our watch time, obviously we're not watching anything, but our time in the Spirit, our time in prayer, our time in the Word. And how many know our words are powerful? And if we say we're going to do something and we back out on that, how many know we can let people down, but God hears that too, doesn't he? He sees that we can be trusted with things. He sees that we're going to complete things. And I've got one more video here today. I promise this is it for videos. But I found this lady online as well. I don't know who she is. And it's amazing because I don't know her name. I don't know where she's from. But when I watched the video, I got challenged by the word that she gave. And, I like to send them to Mandy, and she always comments on some of the stuff that I'll send her. And sometimes it's, funny, it's laughing, it's, whatever it is, whether it's a cat video, dogs being cute, funny, running around. And then I'll send her, something like this. And she's like, wow, that challenged me. It was powerful. And it's amazing the way we can be connected with like-minded people if we are looking in the right place. So just listen to this word that she has here as we begin to close here today.
You're asking God to trust you with a calling, but he can't even trust you to wake up on time. You keep praying for clarity, for favor, for that next level that you're trying to hit, but yet you're still inconsistent. You're still reactive, and you're still saying that your procrastination is rest when actually it's just avoidance in disguise. It's not that God isn't hearing your prayers. He's just not going to give it to you when your entire life is rooted in disorder. He is not going to multiply and add increase in the places that you already haven't proven that you can steward. You want this divine direction and the entire roadmap mapped out for you, but you can't even follow a system or your Google Calendar. You want this huge calling and to impact the whole world, but you can't even stick to your discipline. Faith isn't just about good feeling vibes, it's about your follow through and your bold obedience. You cannot keep crying over closed doors when you are the one that continues to show up late. And you cannot continue to blame spiritual warfare when in actuality, you just aren't showing up in the way that you need to be. God is not testing your desire, he's testing your discipline. And he's not going to bless the version of you that wants all of his blessings without showing up boldly in obedience. You don't need another word, you don't need to pray more, you don't need another confirmation from him. What you need is consistency.
Wow. How many have ever struggled with being consistent? Wow. In Philippians chapter 1, verse 6, it says, being confident of this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus. If there's anything that we need to be, it needs to be consistent. We need to show up. That can work the algorithm into our favor, can't it? It can get things moving in the right direction. How many know if all hell breaks loose, and how many have ever had it happen? It happens, doesn't it? And come against your life. How many know if you react right to that in the moment, it is such a powerful tool that you can then use. It is such a powerful testimony, and it demands a response from God, I believe, sooner than later. And I've seen this quote. So on TikTok, it's called a For You page. You don't have to go looking for any content. You just go to the For You page. This algorithm knows you. You just start scrolling. You can see stuff that you probably like. And I've seen this quote, and I really like it. It says, that For You page ain't for you if it keeps pulling you away from the Lord. And I'm like, wow, yeah, that's pretty good. It's called a For You page, but if it's not for you, you need to get rid of it, or you need to change it. Maybe you need to delete an app. Maybe you need to set boundaries. It's amazing. I've talked about it before. We've got these smartphones, and recently, it was a couple of years ago now, but they started coming out with all these things to keep you off of the devices too. You could set up limits and restrictions, and I only want to be on this app for 30 minutes, and then it'll kick you off and say, hey, you've been disabled. and you can't get on this. And then you try to go and it's blacked out for, whatever you set it to be, the rest of that day or the next day. But then, as adults, if we set it up for ourselves, we know the password, so we can just, no, I'm going to still go enter in a password and just go right back to it, right? It's amazing that we have so much technology at our fingertips, but then we got to use the technology against us because we can't decide when to let it go and when to give up the phone, the screen time, the TV, whatever it may be, the YouTubes, whatever you're watching, whatever you're spending time in. And I've heard this quote as well. It says, the flesh doesn't care about sinning because it knows it's not going with us. And if you don't get that, you got to understand that why the flesh has to die, because it is not good. It is not holy. It's not coming with us to heaven. And we have to crucify the flesh daily. And I encourage you to engage in not only online and good content and on Facebook. I know if you like drama and want to go stir it up every once in a while, don't get too crazy, Some people like to start comment on things and just get people fired up, to just fire people up. But I believe we can use it to have fun and be an escape, but I believe we can use it in our daily lives to reach people and to minister in ways that we never could have or never did. We got to have the order and proper design that for our life, that we mold after what Christ has had for us. Give us the spiritual guidance in the Word. If we're not in the Word and we're not praying and we're not have clear instructions for how we want to live and what we're going after, how we know some things will happen and we're going to answer questions crazy. We're going to be wild and off the hinge and just make rash decisions. But if we have those guidance things in place and those strict rules, like the algorithm does, that it follows this if this happens, and if that happens, then this happens. How many know we can make Christ-based decisions even though we're not perfect, even though we're still sinners, we can still have the best output possible in bad situations. So if you've never heard of an algorithm here today, I hope I've done an okay job at understanding what it is and how we can base our lives off of it. How many know if there's anything that we do is life continues, life goes on. It doesn't matter how tragic things happen, what happens to us. We've got to continue. Stuff's not going to just stop. It's going to continue. Life is just us figuring out one trouble after the next. It is us trying to navigate the things of life, whether it be getting older, having ailments you never knew you had or could have. And something I heard many years ago is that it made me think of things on a different level, is that this is, how many know we've all come from a parent, obviously. Parents, we've been raised, we've lived life, we've had so many years on this earth, and we weren't always here. Our parents were here before us. That's kind of just how that works. And I heard this thought, it really made me think retrospectively, whatever you wanted to say, if you were Back to the Future fan, in the third dimension, or what was it? Yeah, he was always thinking two-dimensionally. Sometimes you got to think three-dimensionally. But as we look around in this room, we're all of different ages. We're all born on different days. But each one of us here, this is our first time ever living life. We're all together. Now, some of us have been living it longer. Some of us have lived it better. Some of us have lived it wilder. Some of us are still just trying to figure out life. But this is all of us collectively our first time doing this at all. So when somebody gets it wrong, how many know we need to help? We need to help them. We need a guide to say, hey, you know what? That's not what I would have done in that situation. And we've got to do it in the right spirit, in the right mindset as well. We've got to be able to help them and guide them. And how many know we don't have anything in our lives to point to but Jesus, right? We don't have anything else to offer anybody, really, but Jesus. And so I encourage you to do your part to get those points up. How many know we're not keeping track? There's nobody that's keeping points down here, but I believe God is watching our watch time. He's watching what we're spending our time in. And so as you stand this morning, musicians, would you come and prepare to close out here in altar? I encourage you here today. And originally I was going to be really short and we were just going to spend a time of worship. It's already noon. I don't know what happened there. I must like to talk or something. But I encourage you to get your watch time up with God, to get alone with him, to worship, to pray, to read the word. Whatever you got to do to get alone, whether you have to set up a place and you have to set it a time in your calendar, if you've got to set you an alarm to say, hey, you go get alone with God, you do it. It's funny, I always have my notes on my phone, and before I come up, I always like to put it in Do Not Disturb because I don't want to be disturbed while I'm up here, right? That's, not good. I don't want to be distracted. I got my notes. I want to stay focused on those. Sometimes we got to do that in life. We got to set the Do Not Disturb. I remember when you take the phone off the hook because you didn't want to talk to nobody. You just pick it up and just get the busy signal. Sometimes you need to let things get the busy signal in your life. You need to set everything else aside and let God have his time in your life and let him work on you. How many know if he's going to work on you, he's got to be able to have the time to work. He's got to be able to have the time to minister to you, minister through you. And so I just encourage you, these next few moments, we won't be long, we won't tarry long this morning. You can sing the words of the song, or you can come, you can kneel, you can pray, you can think about what it means to get your godly algorithm back in line and in tune with him, to get those morals, those rules, those things set in place in your life. But know that we are never going to be perfect. These algorithms, these machine learning things that we run, they have errors because they're made by humans, and we are human too. We are never going to be perfect, but it's by God's grace, by his blood. But we've also got to accept that. We've got to take that and we've got to use that in our life. We've got to know that we're not perfect, that we are going to make mistakes. And so I encourage you this morning, spend time with God, not just here on Sunday mornings, Wednesday nights. I believe that's lower on the point system, right? Maybe a 3. But I believe if we get alone with God in our own times, whether it's driving at our house, maybe in work, if you have time at work, I believe that's like the 5, the 6 points. It can really grow our relationship faster and better with God when we do that outside of here too. And I preached a message that a few years ago that it's worship. It's not just a Sunday morning routine. It's not just something we do when we come to church, when we get here together for show, that say, hey, look at the next person. Look what I did. Look what I'm doing. But it's something we do on our daily lives. And so if you need any prayer, the prayer team's here. We can pray with you. But I encourage you to just spend some time with God as we worship here this morning. Won't you worship with us?